Hi, my name is John, and today I'm going to walk you through the baking soda vinegar rocket. First, we're going to look at all the stuff that we need in order to make the rocket. So starting off with safety, if you have a pair of safety glasses, that's great, but they're not necessary. Just keep that in mind and be safe. Then you'll need some duct tape, a new water bottle, 3 wooden dowels, some measuring sticks, a cork, some baking soda. You really won't need too much. Scissors, a sheet of paper, a funnel, a measuring cup, and then some vinegar. When picking out a good bottle, a bottle about this size is probably going to work best, just because it's a more of a confined space than maybe a 2-liter pop bottle, and so that will give you more thrust out of the back of the rocket, which will make your rocket in turn shoot higher. So once we know that our bottle is cleaned out and there's nothing in there that might affect the reaction, a little bit of water in there is fine. It's time to go ahead and build our rocket. So we're going to do this by taping our 3 wooden dowels to our bottle. So I have 3 small pieces of duct tape cut out. They don't need to be very big. These are just going to be more of a temporary thing to keep our dowels in place. So you want to have a flat surface and make sure your bottle is flat on that surface, and then push that wooden dowel up against the bottle so it's parallel, and you want it to be as straight up and down as you can. Just quickly tape that wooden dowel in place. Then you want to go ahead and try and evenly space out your dowels, but you're going to go ahead and do that for the other 2 dowels as well. That. To make sure that your rocket's going to stand, you can just test it here, and once it stands, you know that you're good to go, and you can really secure these down. And to do that, we're going to tear off a bigger strip of tape, something big enough to go around the entire base of the rocket, and we're just going to go right down here at the base of the rocket and tape all the way around. And you can kind of press them in place too. And then we're going to do another strand of duct tape, the same size, but this time we're going to do it up here at the top, and we're just going to go right over where we tacked the dowel in place before. Here we go. And you can press down on the duct tape to make sure it's secure, but that's a rocket. At this point, if you want to, you can go ahead and decorate it. You can put stickers on it, you can cover it in duct tape. But you want to make sure that you're able to get into the cap, which is how we're going to put in the rocket fuel. And you also want to make sure to leave the top open because the rocket will shoot up and down and you don't want to damage anything you put. So now that we have our rocket made, we're going to go ahead and make our funnels for the baking soda. So to do that, we're going to take your sheet of paper and cut it in 4 equal parts. You don't have to measure these out, but the closer you can get them to equal, the better. One more time. So I have 4 of roughly equal sized pieces of paper. So now I'm going to take one of them, as well as the cork that we're going to use as a stopper for our rocket, and then you're going to place the cork at one edge like this of the paper, and then just slowly roll it up so you have a nice little funnel made out of paper. Then you're going to rip off a small piece of duct tape. It doesn't have to be very big, and just tape that paper so it holds its form. And you can go ahead and get we'll keep the cork in there for now, and then we're going to take our scissors and we're going to find the edge of the cork with our finger, and we're going to go a little bit past that and cut. You want to go a little bit past that so you make sure it can easily fit into the edge of the rocket. And then you don't need to, but I always like to cut off a little bit here at the top too to make sure it's a straight edge. That way it's easier for me to put the baking soda in. And that's our that's our funnel for the baking soda. I would suggest go ahead and making 3 other with the other 3 sheets of paper. That way, if your one funnel does tend to get wet and sticky, you have another clean one. Because if you're trying to use a wet funnel, the baking soda tends to stick to it, and then you may not get all the baking soda into the bottle that you want. So now that we have our rocket made, and we have our funnels made for our baking soda, it's time to show you how to actually load the rocket up with the rocket fuel. So to start, you're going to measure out a 1/4 cup of vinegar. I'm just using water in this case, just so it doesn't explode in my face when I do load it up. But you're going to go ahead and take your funnel, make sure it's in the top of the water bottle, then go ahead and pour your vinegar in. Make sure you go slowly so it doesn't overflow, because the funnel is at an angle. And then, so once you have your vinegar in the rocket, you can go ahead and put your baking soda funnel in. And then, if you can remove your measuring stick that you're using from the rest of them, I would suggest doing that. Make sure you keep them together though. Like I'm using 1 tablespoon here, and I just removed it from the rest. So then, when you're starting, you want to make sure you have your cap close by because it'll go fast. Get your tablespoon or teaspoon, excuse me, of baking soda. Dump it in the funnel, and once that's all in there, close it and cap it, and then you want to flip it upside down like that. And then you want to get away as fast as you can, because the pressure is going to build up inside the rocket, and then it's going to shoot the cork out, and then the rocket's going to fly out. So now that my safety glasses are on, I have my vinegar in the rocket, and my baking soda stuff is all ready to go. I'm ready to set it off. A few things about good places to set off the rocket. You want to make sure that you have a flat surface, so it's easy when you tip your rocket over, that it's going to be able to shoot straight up and it won't tip over, or else you may have to redo the experiment. And you also want to make sure that you have a place that it can get dirty and a little smelly. The baking soda and vinegar tend to be a little messy and smelly. So if you're inside, I'd recommend using a tarp or something, or preferably you can go outside. So with that being said, let's go ahead and set off our rocket. And when you're setting off your rocket, you want to be sure to cap it really quick, because that way the more the reaction is going to be contained in the bottle, and it will give you more thrust when the rocket is shooting out. So now that you've seen how to launch your baking soda vinegar rocket, it's your time to kind of mess around and use different ratios of baking soda and vinegar to see how high you can get the rocket to go. Make sure to keep track and estimate about how high each rocket goes, and at least get a ranking for what mixture and ratio cause your rocket to fly the highest. Thanks for watching.